Afternoon, Jack. How are you today?
All good, all good. Thank you.
Good stuff. Jack, welcome to the Business Spotlight. Thanks very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me today. Could you start by telling me a little about yourself, your background, and your business, please?
Yeah, so finished school, went to Queen's, did a degree in agricultural science. Finished that degree, found out there's no money in farming, and decided to go on the business then, mostly to be honest, based on year abroad through the degree, worked for a farming contractor out there and in New Zealand for nearly a year and absolutely loved it, but knew that I was happy at home too. Um, so business started 2018, and we've kind of just been growing from then, to be honest. More kit, more people, better work, and I still enjoying it. So,
And so the studying from the agricultural science then to what you've ended up doing. So how to the people that aren't involved in your type of business, what is it you do? What sort of services do you provide?
so we provide environmental maintenance and infrastructure maintenance to public sector and private sector companies. So really encompasses quite a bit. So anything from invasive weed control that we're working on today, grounds maintenance, tree surgery, drainage works, winter gutting, road sweeping, kind of encompasses quite a bit.
And what was the spark, Jack, that led you to launch the business back in 2018?
Uh, But of ego, to be honest. As I said, come back from placement in New Zealand. Still had a bit of the degree to do. Had always worked alongside my dad and his business. He had a fairly similar business, but on a much smaller scale. Once I come back, I said, look, I'm happy to come on board with you once I'm finished here and try and grow things. And the response was absolutely no chance. You're not running things the way I've run it, and you're not continuing things the way they are. So there's a van and a few contacts to get you started, and you can set up on your own and go from there. So, and in fairness, in hindsight, it was one of the best bits of advice, or not so much help that I got, but aye, it was a good kick to get things started.
Very good. And who's your target market, Jack? Who are the sorts of businesses, organizations that benefit from your services?
Well, we kind of have a wide variety of customers, to be honest. So the likes of public sector, directly. So the likes of your road service, environments agency, local councils and that. And then the private sector, we do a lot for commercial managing agents, um, landlords, property owners, things like that. And then we actually do a lot of work with other contractors that do the same work as us as well.
And what would you say has been the biggest lesson? You got 6 years on the clock, or over 6 years on the clock now as a business owner. What's been your biggest lesson along the way?
Um, Hard to identify one. There's probably something every week, but I suppose from the get go, it's really easy to say yes to everything and try and do everything. But as things have went on, I'm quite happy to say no to the odd prospective job. Once you work it out, and even things like now when we're at the stage we're at, we're not as competitive as we used to be price wise. But I'm quite happy to turn and say, no, listen, it's not going to suit us, it's not going to suit you. You'll get the work that you're expecting elsewhere, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a challenge. It's
yeah,
a journey. I guess a lot of people go through at the start, say yes to everything.
yeah. No, absolutely. And there's quite a few customers, especially if they're not sure about things. I just have to turn to them now at this stage and say, listen, we're not going to be the cheapest to do this job. If that's what you're looking for, by all means, you'll not offend if you go elsewhere. But if it is done, it'll be done with good kit, it'll be done safely, and you'll be happy with the results. And that's worked for us quite a few times because we've had customers come back and say, wasn't sure about this, wasn't sure about that, but once it's done, and they see how it's done, then they're happy with it.
Yeah, I guess if everybody just wanted the cheapest, then there'd be no such thing as a Marks and Spencer's food hall, and I've never been in one of those when it hasn't been busy. So there you
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
And look, life and business, Jack, are full of surprises. What's been your biggest surprise along the way?
Um, again, one of those things that's probably hard to identify. Really easy to expect that it'll all be plain sailing and all be very easy. It's all lovely from the outside looking in. But once you're in the middle of it, you can soon identify where the gripes and issues are. And, probably one of the main things is probably you can never truly switch off from it. It's one of the main things that most business owners would say, I think.
And speaking of other business owners, are there any business leaders, either local or worldwide, that have either influenced you or that you've looked up to along your journey?
Um, there's always one or two, locally and further afield. I've had a lot of help from some local business owners as well that didn't really need to give me their time, but they did. On a global scale, I'd say I've really resonated with a lot of the stuff that Stephen Bartlett's been putting out, especially earlier stuff. It's really a lot of it hits home as a business owner, and you go, "Jesus, I'm not the only one there." Or, it it really teaches you to reach out to other business owners, I think, because you're not going to be around long enough to make all the mistakes yourself. So may as well learn from theirs, kind of thing.
And tell me, what gets you out of bed in the morning and really drives your passion for your business?
Geez, that's a struggle some days with the hours it's gonna, especially in the summertime. Uh, I've been able just in our industry, it's very easy to cut corners and kind of think, it's all right to get away with it. But what kind of gets me out of bed and keeps me going is being able to do it right. Big pride ours is that we have all our own kit, well maintained, well looked after, uh, and just trying to make an impression on the job, kind of thing. And being able to do it right and to the letter, kind of thing.
So let's fast forward now to 25 years, 2029, heading towards 2030. What does SOS look like then?
Um, Hopefully doubled in size, maybe a wee bit more. We have plans at the moment for new premises, so they'll be built from the ground up, designed specifically around the business. So growing things that way around and being able to establish the business that it's fairly self-sufficient and kind of running hopefully without a lot of input from me that it can support itself.
Good stuff. Sounds like a plan, Jack. Sounds like a plan.
Well, we're getting there slowly but surely.
And Jack, if somebody likes what they've heard or would like to reach out or get in touch with the business or you, what would be the best way for them to go about that?
A couple of different options. I know everybody has their own preferences. We've just redone the website there, so a few bits to tweak on that, but it's getting there. Is sos-ni.co.uk, and then on LinkedIn, stuff like that. It's probably the best way to get in touch with us.
Brilliant. Well, Jack Heaney from SOS, thanks very much for taking the time to speak with me today. It's been really cool hearing about your story and your business journey. And I wish you all the success for the remainder of 2024 and beyond. So, Jack, thanks very much indeed.
Much appreciated. Thanks for having me.